So 68 IQ Ilhan Omar got jizzed on by an attacker. Whatever. I'll break down the actual fake event and I'll tell you how this came to be and why she's making this up. Here's a hint. She thinks we're all as stupid and low IQ as she is.
Some people did something.
Hey there, friends. Welcome back to another Legally Armed America video. I'm, of course, Paul Glasgow here, the one and only truth pimp, dealing you a vulgar display of logic and reason on a daily basis. And today we have the new jizz video. I joked online that this is possibly her brother that just jizzed on her sweater like before, but that's just a joke. I have no proof of that. I also don't have proof that this is fake, but I'm going to tell you why I believe, and I'm pretty sure that it is fake. That is my opinion. Now, the rest of the video will be jam-packed with the facts and the truth that you come to love here on Legally Armed America. First, guys, please go check out my friends CMMG. They have a brand new line of zeroed brand suppressors that they are releasing. These suppressors offer impressive sound suppression. They're very ruggedly built, and trust me, they are at a very affordable price. They are calling these the everyman suppressor, meaning that they are at a price point where they expect most everybody, every man at least, if you still know what men are, to be able to afford one. These suppressors are built in-house in America, in Missouri, at the CMMG plant. They're made with 17.4 stainless steel, and they feature a durable tubeless design, laser welded baffle stacks, and easy to clean nitride finish. Check them out. Go to CMMG. Again, CMMG. Don't forget to use my code FTATF and you will get 10% off these unbelievable suppressors along with anything else from CMMG. Again, FTATF is the discount code. Let's talk about this fake jizz event. You see the guy standing up front, kind of bouncing around, either drunk, high, stoned, whatever. Something's going on with this dude. But, boy, he's got the best seat in the house, doesn't he? Like, literally the best seat in the house for somebody who might want to do this. Coincidence, I'm sure. You notice the little nod to the guy. This is not as subtle as it might seem. If somebody is trying to say, hey, look, I don't want to be startled, so I'm going to tell you when to come up here, and that's when you need to come. And he conveniently waited until she was in between sentences, and immediately after saying that Kristi Noem needed to resign. No shock here. No shock by Omar either. If you notice, she doesn't seem to be shocked at all for some guy that supposedly she's never seen before, has never come at her before, and then she playfully punches at the guy's arm, or at least attempts to, whenever he's carried away. I mean, clearly she's tough, right? She acts tough, swearing and acting all defiant. But oddly, everyone stays calm as the alleged assailant, still 10 feet away and on the ground in the same room, is still lying right there, and she's just chilling. Like nobody's panicking or anything. Like maybe other people knew what was going on. No one seems concerned at what the liquid is either. She continues as the guy is still in the room laying on the ground. She's still continuing on with her speech, acting all defiant. What a warrior, right? She's so tough. She's so defiant in the face of adversity. Look how she acts.
Some people did something.
All right. Now I'm going to explain why this is all staged and how we got here. Late 2025, national attention turned to Minnesota after revelations about billions of dollars in fraud connected to state social services programs. One of the most high-profile cases was the Feeding Our Future case, a nonprofit accused of misusing hundreds of millions of federal child nutrition funds during the COVID-19 pandemic, with dozens of defendants, mostly from Minnesota's Somali American community. Federal authorities had been prosecuting members of that case for years, but what broke into the broader public consciousness in late 2025 was a renewed political and media scrutiny of how widespread the losses actually were, potentially billions across multiple platforms, including autism services and housing assistance. This coverage gained momentum in December of 2025, just last month, when commentators and GOP lawmakers began questioning why it took so long to expose such widespread fraud and whether oversight by state officials, including Omar, was lax. Some reporting even included claims suggesting money may have been diverted abroad. We've all seen the reports of hundreds of thousands of dollars of U.S. cash in Somali suitcases going straight to Somalia, making it through TSA and onto airplanes. Now, as the fraud story made headlines, fingers started to point back at Ilhan Omar. She miraculously became a millionaire, her with her little milquetoast husband. Her past work and the connections inside the Somali community tied her to the scandal. Omar publicly, however, rejected those accusations, saying that if there were any legitimate links between fraud and other criminal activity, failing to detect them would be a failure of investigators, not something she supported. So you remember the comment she made. If there's any fraud, it's their fault for not finding it sooner. Not it's the people's fault for creating the fraud. It's the investigator's fault for not finding it sooner. That's the light bulb headed way that Somalians think. And remember, all of this is taking place while her and her husband, her current husband, not the brother that she married to get into the United States, but her current husband had negative funds in the bank, and now they have upwards to $30 million in the bank. Now, seemingly unrelated, while all this fraud stuff was heating up and they were finding things and linking Ilhan Omar to all of this, DHS was ramping up their investigations. Remember, they knew that some of these Somalians were illegal up there, but they also knew that with Minneapolis being a sanctuary city and Minnesota being a sanctuary state, that there were a lot of illegals up there. So I think they thought maybe two birds with one stone kind of thing. You know, we go up there, put an end to some of the fraud by locking up some of the illegal aliens who are up there who aren't being forced. Even the 1,300 that are in jails in the Minneapolis area, they won't let them get deported. So while all that was happening, this initiative called Operation Metro Surge, which began in 2025, December, into early 2026, the operation sent thousands of federal officers, including ICE and Customs and Border Patrol agents, into the Minneapolis-St. Paul area. So all this is kind of building up. Then we got our flashpoint on January 7th. Renee Good, while interfering with ICE agents, was fatally shot during an immigration enforcement operation. The shooting sparked immediate public outrage and was aided by outside provocateurs funding the riots that initially ensued. Then this past week, another shooting of the Angel nurse who interfered with ICE. These events triggered a nationwide wave of well-funded anti-ICE rallies, riots, amplified political divisions, and led calls in Congress for investigations into how federal forces operate domestically. Now, this was a very well-funded distraction from all the Somalian fraud that had been uncovered in the last couple of months. And of course, Ilhan Omar was right balls deep in the middle of it, calling for ICE to be disbanded, defunded. So from fraud scandals that gained national attention in late 2025 to political firestorms over alleged ties to Minnesota leaders, including Ilhan Omar, and finally to a deadly law enforcement encounter in early 2026, this has become one of the most complex and contentious public debates in recent American history. Now back to Omar and her little fake jizz toss from yesterday, and why I think I have no reason to think this was not staged. My question in all this is, why does she think that we're going to buy this with all the fakeness of it and the obvious staged event? Let me remind you guys that Somalians have an average IQ of just under 68, 67 point something, right? Compare that to Americans who have an average IQ of 99 point something, just under 100. That's a 30-point IQ swing.
Some people did something.
That's considerable. People with a 68 IQ, like Ilhan Omar, don't process things the same way we do at 100 IQ or higher. Watching a person like Ilhan Omar with a 68 IQ is very similar to watching a toddler try to break into the Pentagon. They genuinely think they're fooling you. They don't realize that people with higher IQs see right through their stupid fake stories. They believe everybody else has the same IQ as them, or at least approaches things the same way somebody with a low IQ would approach things. If you got a seatbelt, buckle it up, because this is gonna hurt some feelings. But it's all factual and all true. Let's go back and repeat this fact because it's worth mentioning again. Omar is Somalian. They have an average IQ of just under 68 in Somalia. Wildly, in America, the Americans have an average IQ of just under 100, and that's with all the dummies in this country watering the IQ down. Imagine if you remove the dummies or even the Somalians from America, how high the IQ would be. It'd be higher than 100, I promise you that. People with a 68 IQ with very low cognitive ability have one major flaw. They assume that everyone thinks exactly like they do. If they would fall for a stupid story, they automatically assume surely you would and everybody else would. There's no theory of mind, no ability to estimate other people's intelligence because they're dumb. There's no recognition that maybe, just maybe, the adults across from them can see right through the lie because their entire thought process is basically, if I say it confidently, it becomes true and nobody will question it. They have a weird form of magical thinking, like a child who thinks monsters can't see them if they hide under a blanket. I know that seems wild, but this is scientifically proven. This is not my opinion here. This is all researched information comparing people with low IQ to higher IQ, especially one that's 30 points higher than their average IQ. You see, lying takes horsepower. To lie well, you need working memory, planning, the ability to track past statements, awareness of contradictions, anticipation of questions. Look, a person with an IQ of, let's say, 68, they don't have any of that. So naturally, their lie usually sounds like a bunch of improvised nonsense, contradictions, details that simply don't align with reality, emotional outbursts instead of facts, fake confidence instead of actual logic. It's like watching a guy juggle with oven mitts on. You know he's going to cut himself. You're just waiting for him to cut himself for the first time. But here's the part that Ilhan Omar and dummies with 68 IQ like her don't realize. You cannot fool someone with a normal IQ when your story is held up with duct tape and delusion. A person with even a basic average IQ, like around 100, can instantly spot impossible timelines, contradictory statements, missing logic, character motives that make no sense, emotional manipulation instead of actual evidence. They don't even have to try. Your brain sees the inconsistencies before your conscious mind even does. It's like a built-in lie detector screaming, dude, this is a lie. But here's one of the interesting parts, and you're going to see this with Ilhan Omar. When people with low IQs get busted lying,
some people did something.
They don't come clean. They double down on it. Instead of fixing the lie, they actually inflate to it. They add to it. Their stories become way more dramatic than what the original lie was. More impossible, more cartoonish. This is because they don't have the cognitive ability to repair the actual lie. So instead of fixing the lie, they compensate with drama, like a louder voice, a bigger claim, more emotional energy, more extreme details. And of course, what we've probably already started to see, calls of racism. That's the old go-to. These people don't think, my story doesn't really make a lot of sense, or that these people kind of can see through it. It's a mental equivalent of a kid inventing a dragon, a wizard, and a treasure map to try to cover up the lie that you just busted them on. And boy, when they panic, it just gets worse. When they feel cornered, logical thinking completely shuts off. The brain switches literally to a fight or flight cognition. Decreased working memory, decreased logic, decreased ability to track what they already said, increased emotional improv. So at this point, the lie becomes a fantasy story in real time, like they're creating it as they go. That's why low IQ people's stories start adding new people, new events, new I just remembered this details, new contradictions, new excuses. They're not strategizing. They're drowning in the lie and the story they made up because they're not smart enough to have put together a believable story from the jump. This is why interrogation rooms are usually a joke. Ask any detective or any cop out there. They may not be able to say it out loud. They know who the low IQ individuals are. And the stories, if you go back and look at, you can go online and find interrogation tapes and they're hilarious. You spot the low IQers and their stories are funny as hell. They look like this Ilhan Omar fake attack.
Some people did something.
You know they're lying. They just don't know that you know that they're lying. They think you believe them. So they automatically think when you disagree that you do believe them, but you're lying about it, so you must be racist. There must be another reason, because surely my lie was good enough because I'm so smart with my 68 IQ points, 30 below yours. They can't think like that. They can't process that we are smarter than they are. When you look at a 68 IQ and look at a 100 IQ person, they don't see that gap. They can't process being as intelligent as you are. So they automatically think you think like them. So the next time someone with a 68 IQ like Ilhan Omar tries to outsmart you with a story that sounds like fan fiction written during a seizure, remember, They think you have the same IQ as them. They believe bigger stories equal stronger stories. They panic and replace logic with imagination. And they truly don't realize how transparent they are being with their fake little story. They don't realize that they aren't being clever. They're not some manipulative genius. They're not deceiving anyone. They're showing their cognitive limitations out in the open for everybody else to see. And the whole crowd looking back going, man, that don't sound right. This don't sound right. But you're going to see everybody white knighting and coming to her rescue saying, see how strong she is. Look how defiant she is. She wasn't fazed in the face of an attacker.
Some people did something.
That's what you're going to see. So they're going to put her up on a pedestal. And of course, they're going to give her what she was trying to get out of all this. In other words, the sympathy. Oh, we can't possibly continue to investigate this fraudster here because poor thing, she got attacked. This is working out just the way she wanted to. Now, we don't believe it. Many of us are like, I know better. But it's like now, just like people are going to say to me, why would you say that was fake? That's so insensitive. Poor thing, she was attacked. With what? With what? Did you see how little concern there was for this liquid? It looked like a beef broth, to be honest with you. Maybe it was soap. Maybe it was her brother's jizz. I don't know, truth serum. You notice how it wasn't sprayed in her face either. Whatever it was, if it was truly dangerous and it was truly something that somebody was trying to inflict damage on her, like our home country does, pouring acid on people. Like, I mean, if she went back home with that mouth of hers, she'd probably get something else sprayed on her, but it wouldn't be beef broth or jizz. It'd be acid. Yeah. If it were truly something that could inflict any real damage on her, this dude had a bird's eye seat to her. He hit her exactly where he was aiming. Could have hit her in the face, and he didn't. This is all staged, folks. This may not ever come out because they're going to wrap this in racism. So this may be, all you're going to hear about is how big of a hero she is. But this was all fake. There's no doubt in my mind that it was fake. I see people that I even respect saying, oh no, and I don't think this is fake. Sorry, guys. Every single thing that I pointed out, and many of you have pointed out even more, points to this being staged. It's to get you to feel sorry for her, to back off the investigations, and to leave her alone. Let the ICE topic be the main topic. Notice this happened after the Minnesota law enforcement, Minnesota State Police, actually sort of cooperating with law enforcement. So now, with ICE. So now you see all of the riots and stuff like that being tamped out. So as soon as the riot portion of this started to go away, this popped up, this little fake attack. All of this is happening in a very predictable sequence. And again, Ilhan Omar with 68 IQ points to her name.
Some people did something.
Thinks that we all believe it. Friends, if you liked the video, please hit that like button. Make sure you are subscribed. And if you think I'm wrong about this, or if you have other reasons that you think either something else happened, or that this truly was an attack on poor little Ilhan Omar, let me know in the comment section down below. I have a feeling the comment section will be on fire on this one, and I can't wait to go read it. And one last thing. Here's our villain. Straight from the weirdos in Hollywood. Look at the fruit pies in this guy's family. And they say he's MAGA.
So long, gay boys.
Some people did something.
Don't forget, guys, if you're looking for a book to educate yourself and to educate the idiots out there who can't think for themselves regarding mass shootings, go to damnliars.net. Again, damnliars.net, and get my brand new book, Damn Liars.
I'm sorry, I thought this was America.